And what happens? And the Lord gave the people what? Favor in the sight of the Egyptians. God gave them favor. Yeah, that's awesome. God gave them favor. See what we all need is the favor of God.
Come on. Amen.
You get the favor of God working in your life, you'd be surprised at some of the stuff folk will do for you.
Yes.
Even when they don't want to.
Yes. You're right about that. I'm a witness to that.
Even when they don't want to. You walk over and say, I don't know why I did that. You ever had that happen? You have an energy, you have something going on, and you talk to people. You go into a meeting, and blah, 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 and and you walk away, and they stand there scratching your head. I don't know why I did that.
I love it.
It's the favor of the Lord. God has a sense of humor. So the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, and moreover, the man Moses was very great in the land of Egypt, in the sight of Pharaoh's servants, and in the sight of the people. So God gives the people favor and raises up their leadership. There's a message in that too. But that's a different message. Divine favor. Exodus chapter 12, verse 35 and 36. The people of Israel had also done as Moses told them. Now this is, do I want to go there? Yeah, let me make a statement here. If they hadn't have done what Moses told them, they wouldn't have got what God wanted for them.
Amen.
For they had asked the Egyptians for silver and gold jewelry and for clothing. And the Lord had given the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians so that they let them have what they asked. And thus they plundered the Egyptians. So when they left Egypt, they had all this stuff back. I mean, they went down into a place of abundance. They had a little rough spot. Then when they came up out, they experienced the abundance again. Y'all. There is no lack in God. I made the statement, I have never been poor and will never be poor. I have been broke, but I've never been poor. And I want to get to the place where I don't get broke no more. I got enough for me and mine and a whole bunch left over for everybody else. Exodus chapter 16, closing number 2. They set out from Elim. Well, let me stop. Exodus chapter 12, they get their stuff back. Exodus chapter 13, God delivers them up. Exodus chapter 14, they're in front of the Red Sea. Y'all got the picture? God opens the sea, they go through. And everybody think that what the miracle was the fact that the sea opened. No, the miracle was that the ground was dry. God can make your feet solid. He can have you walk through some stuff and you be solid. The blessing. Say the blessing. Now watch. She all up in this. Well, that stuff just all. Now watch this. Exodus chapter 14, the sea opens, they go through. Exodus chapter 15, they on the other side singing the song of Moses. Miriam prophesying. The horse and the rider done drowned in the sea. Oh, they praising. They having a praise party. Exodus chapter 16. They sent out from Elim, and all the congregation of the people of Israel came to the wilderness of Zin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the second month after they had departed from the land of Egypt. Verse 12, we hear this echo from heaven. I have heard the grumbling of the people of Israel. Grumbling? Wait a minute. God just gave you an abundance. He brought you out, gave you all your stuff back. Yesterday you were singing his praise, and today you grumbling. What's going on here? Spirit of crazy. They had been delivered out of Egypt, but Egypt had not been delivered out of them. That was the problem. Say to them, at twilight you're going to eat meat. In the morning you're going to be filled with bread, and then you shall know that I am the Lord your God. After all of that, they didn't think God could give them a meal. Ain't that something? You done brought us out, Moses, you done brought us out here in the wilderness to die. Would to God that we were back in Egypt. You done brought us out here to die. Slaves in their own mind. They were delivered from Egypt. They didn't have physical chains. The chains were in their mind. They could not see themselves as other than slaves. People say, well, God made them die in the wilderness. No, he didn't. They said, we can't go in. Moses said, send some men, send some spies. Send 12 of them. And they brought the people an evil report. 2 of them, Joshua and Caleb, said, we are well able to do this. The 10 said, we can't do it. The land is just like he said. Yeah, we see it, but there's some giants in there. We just newly out of Egypt. We barely making it in. You know what? We gonna die. God said, you know what? You're right. You said you're going to die in the wilderness. And you know what? You're right. You're going to die in the wilderness. But here's the reality. If you believe you can or can't, you're right. If you believe you can or can't, you're right. God said, you said it. You got it. So what I'm going to do, because I got a lot of time. God said, I'm going to let y'all wander around the wilderness, same wilderness. I'm going to let y'all wander around for 40 years. No direction. Y'all just going around the same mountain for 40 years. Y'all know how long it should have taken to get to the land of Canaan? 3 days. They turned a 3-day journey into 40 years. Why? Number one, Moses, we don't believe you from God. Who made you a ruler? How come you and Aaron get to make all the decisions? You up there on the mountain talk about you communing with God. Let me get back to this. I better get back to this bread business. Look, Moses says, why are you grumbling against us? This is what God's going to do. Say, this is what God's going to do. Exodus 16. Said they're going to be this dew. God going to speak to the wind. And I could imagine someone was probably saying, here he go again. Here go Moses again. Another one of his bright ideas. God going to speak to the wind. and there's going to be this dew. But when the dew went up, there was on the face of the wilderness this fine flake-like thing, fine as frost on the ground. When the people saw it, I got to turn to this. When the people saw it, what is that? We ain't never seen that before. What is that? You know, oftentimes when God does something, the way God does things, our response is, what is that? They didn't have that back in Egypt. They had lentils, fresh beans. We don't know what that is. What is that? What they didn't know, that was angel food. That stuff angels ate, manna. God said, go out and get some of that manna. The interesting thing about this manna, you could make manna any way you want it. You can boil it, you can fry it. Y'all know they have fried manna with some hot sauce. You can fry it, you can boil it, you can bake it. They had manna and quail. What a meal for 40 years. It never stopped. God fed them. Although they condemned themselves to a journey, God still took care of them. Their clothes didn't wear out. They had one change of clothes, and they never wore out. Shoes didn't either. I know the women was happy. The manna didn't stop until they went into the land of promise. As soon as they went into the land of promise under Joshua, the manna stopped falling from heaven. Because God will always provide for his people, even when they being rebellious. God's a good God. God said, I know you're hard-headed. I ain't talking about you, I'm talking about he was talking to them. God said, I know you're hard-headed and stiff-necked, but I still love you. I'm still going to provide for you. I'm still going to take care of you. I'm still going to heal you. Because I still am, I am. And that's what I do. You with me? People say, what is that? Verse 9 said, Moses told Aaron, say to the entire Israelite community, come before the Lord. He's heard your grumbling. How would y'all like to have a solemn assembly like that? We open up church service and I say, come before the Lord. He's heard your groaning. No wonder they had a problem with Moses. Moses, they had, Moses, he just, look, come on. God heard you, come on. He won't talk to you. Somebody saying, what does this have to do with give us this day our daily bread? Because all of this stuff came up in their mind when they thought about bread. Give us this day our daily bread. Because what they did with the manna, God told Moses, now Moses, take a piece of that, take an omer of that, and I want you to put it up in the ark. That was one of the items that I put in the ark. To remind the people about the bread. Remind them of what happened in the wilderness. Remind them I can give them daily bread. Now watch.